We've come outside for racing to win for this episode, so that means the big players must be in business, and they are here at Sha Tin on Sunday for Bank of China Race Day.
At Sha Tin. Voyage Bubble, he's a triple crown victor. My wish for a classic mile.
And to preview the big day, the boys are here, Paul Lally and Tom Wood. And Tom, what a lineup it is.
It's going to be fantastic, Mark. Hello to you and to everyone. Obviously, you've got the likes of Romantic Warrior and Voyage Bubble lining up in the Cup. 15 Group 1s between them, over 300 million. The youngest jockey in the jockeys' room, Luke Ferarris, partnering My Wish. And then, of course, in the sprint, the world's best sprinter with the champion jockey aboard.
Paul Lally joins us too. Where do you want to go leading into Sunday?
Well, it's really good to see these top horses, isn't it, back, and we'll get a really good opportunity to see them. Obviously, we haven't had to wait too long to see Hayes Rising, because we did see him down in Australia, but we've got Romantic Warrior coming back. We've got Voyage Bubble, we'll go up against him, who ran down the track last time, but I expect a really vast improvement from him in this race.
Let's crack straight in to the meeting details now for this big day right there, right here, where the 12:45 starts. So the three races, it's a special show, races 6, 7 and 8, the three Group 2s we're going to feature on today's preview show. Race number 6, 53 times they won over the 1,200 metres between them. This field headed by Hayes Rising at the top of the book with a total of 13 wins. A lucky Swainess, the visor off, the blinkers go on. Helios Express, a 4-time winner. Fast Network, second time in Group 2 for him. Then Tomodachi Kokoro against his stablemate, the second fastest 1,200 metre horse, Wunderbar and Divano round out the field in race number 6. The speed map, Paul, and the question is, where is Hayes Rising going to be? I
think he can get across from barrier number 10. You can see him, he's drawn wide, he should be able to get across. Now, Tomodachi Kokoro is drawn inside him, but look, I think being a stablemate, he'll just let the horse go and be able to get in front of him, and he can follow him into the race. Wunderbar and Beauty Waves. Now, we can start with Wunderbar. He should get that lovely run just in behind Beauty Waves, who has got the pace, Beauty Waves, to lead this race. Helios Express, he should go all the way to the back, I think, from his draw. He's drawn barrier 3, but he likes to go back in his races.
On to a graphic now, Tom, and it's been a race in the last couple of years which has been a good lead-up for HKIR Sprint.
Yeah, it has. Obviously, the last two winners of the sprint have come through this race and won this race. Hayes Rising, Lucky Swainess, of course, when Lucky Swainess won this race in 2022. He didn't go on and win the sprint, but you got Hop King Prawn down the bottom there as well. But it's been a Zac Purton-a-thon for this race over the last 3 years.
And it might be a field of 10 again this year, but there's only one horse the racing world pretty much want to see and expect to win. He is, of course, Hayes Rising. Hayes Rising, Paul, he's going to be the focus. We've just seen the montage. Now we're going to talk about the Everest and what he did in Australia.
I was so pleased he won that race, I must admit, down in Australia. It showed what he can do. You know, there was a lot of doubters going into this race. That trial, of course, got a lot of media attention. He was the sole focus and of leading into this race. He added a lot to the race, and it was great to see. And about here, you just could see him, he was about to let go, and I think he won quite cosily in the end. You could just see Zac right at the winning post sit up a little bit as well.
And he did what he hadn't done in the trial, and that was change his leg and balanced up, and he kicked away from them. I think many thought in that race there was going to be more pressure than there was, and he just lobbed a beautiful run behind the speed, and it actually worked out perfectly. From all accounts, he's come back really well. The trip's derived a whole lot of benefit for him, so we could see something pretty special. I know he's the track record here. There might be a bit of wind around on Sunday, but if we got set fair conditions, broke the track record in this race last year, could be on the cards this year.
He could very well do it again. Ka Ying Rising. David Hayes is his trainer. He has not only the great Ka Ying Rising in the race, but another very up and coming and the second fastest 1200 metre horse in Hong Kong in Tomodachi Kokoro engaged.
We're all pretty relaxed because he's in great form. He bounced out of his brilliant trial, and I'm pretty confident the trip away he hasn't gone backwards, and he may have gone forwards. So I think he's getting better.
It's a scary thought, really, isn't it, when you think about it? And I mean, he's won his last 14, including an Everest. I mean, he is like that fine wine, isn't he? He is just getting better, this fellow.
Really is, and the scales support that. And just the way he's getting around, I'd say he always was a bit on his toes going through the tunnels, and still is, but he's a more rounded, seasoned horse and not as jumpy as he was.
You've had so many nice horses, David, down through the years, but when they sort of get to this status, they do really become the people's horse, don't they, really?
Yeah, he's become incredibly popular. Look, if he wins this weekend and can equal the great Silent Witness and Golden 60s record on International Day, it'll be quite special.
You're not sending just himself to the race, you've also got Tomodachi Kokoro. I talk of stories. This guy is arguably one of the most interesting and fascinating in the whole of Hong Kong.
Yes, he's won his last three, and since we've put the one-eye blinker on, he was beaten a small margin at Happy Valley at the end of last season, and the rest is history. And you know, on times alone, if you're an advocate of times, I think he's run the second fastest, only behind Ka Ying, over 1200. And he doesn't look like he's gone backwards, and I'm pretty confident he'll run a great race, but I'd be stunned if he beat the big horse.
It's been a story, Tom. We've spoken about Ka Ying Rising. What about Tomodachi Kokoro? You don't buy a horse from Cairns and do what he does.
No, and he'd come here with some reasonable form, but they would have been, I don't want to say second-rate horses that he was racing, but in all fairness, they probably were. But let's not forget, coming into this season, he was actually 17 outs in a row, and he's turned up this season. He's been able to find some form first up, win, and he's continued to hold that form, Paul.
Yeah, he's unbeaten this season, 3 from 3, and you can see him, he's just putting the times on the clock. So he's like an old boxer. He's starting to get better and better as he gets a bit older, and you can see him win this race. The time was there. He's a 7-year-old now, but he's in career best form, and he just continues to win. He's the fairy tale, there's no question. He's going to get a good run, as we saw on that speed map. He's going to follow the favourite into the race, you know, and I can see him featuring. I don't think he'll beat Ka Ying Rising.
The only thing, he's got 123 pounds this time round, but if he was to really put it to Ka Ying Rising this week, I think he's still got a little bit to find. If you know someone that's running some tour groups in North Queensland, they'll fill up quickly.
Well, we'll tell you what, the Tomodachi Tour out of North Queensland, especially if he was to really push Ka Ying Rising. Now, lucky with you, Paul, let's talk about him. 7-time winner course and distance. Luke Ferarris rides him. He's had 2 runs back, and this is a trial up at Chung Faru, who's under a good hold.
Yeah, look, a nice enough trial from him, so he's third up, as you said. Look, he's run 9th and 7th in his first 2 runs, and he had a really good second up record where he's won a couple of times. Hasn't really shown at this stage, so the jury's still out for me. Barrier 9, I think he'll go back. He'll be towards the back, but it was a quiet trial for him.
Yeah, it was under a nice enough hold there, wasn't he? He's 12 pounds better off, obviously, with the Tomodachi Kokoro on that last meeting. I just feel like when he gets to these, I know he's placed in Group 1 company before, he's placed in Group 2, but it's just that extra little half step he needs to take just always seems a little beyond him, I feel.
We'll move on then to this trial, Tom, where they went at it, this pair. Beauty Waves and Lucky Swainess. Someone almost forgot to tell them Sha Tin Trial 0-1 because there's Beauty Waves leading, and then all of a sudden Lucky Swainess comes and joins the party, and this is them at the 400.
Yeah, and they were well clear here. They ran 1:9.32, so it was a fairly swift time. You saw at the start there, Lucky Swainess just doing what he normally does and to just not being the quickest out, but then he mustered speed and got up there. Obviously, he's been to Japan, Paul. Things didn't go right at Nakayama. He was sort of up on a quick tempo there where they just kept going and going and going, and it didn't work out. Interesting, they tried him over a mile before this trial, so I was wondering if they were maybe entertaining that going forward.
Yeah, there was a possibility, wasn't it? But you can see him there in that trial. I mean, Beauty Waves is going to be the pacemaker, but I don't know if he's totally up to this class. And the thing with Lucky Swainess is he's obviously not as good as he was, and he's had that big trip. How much did that take out of him?
I know Beauty Waves has won 1,200 metres, but he is a flat-out 1,000-metre horse of my liking.
All right, so that's that pair. John Sy is well represented. He has 3 runners in the race, and talk through them with Nick.
They're fine. The sprinters are good. They're trouble-free. They seem to be in pretty good shape. Wonder Bar's come down from Chung Fa. He looks great. He's a fairly gross horse, but this time I think you can notice that he's not carrying as much weight. He looks quite well, more racy. Raging Blizzard, he continues to improve. He seems to make small improvement every couple of weeks, and he's racing that way. He's certainly putting himself in there with a chance of getting prize money. He's on 110 now, so he's climbing up. Helios Express, his trial was disappointing here last week, but we're blaming the track conditioner. We had rain overnight, and I think the horse didn't like it. And Huey Bowman thought there was nothing wrong with him. He felt good. His track work since has been normal.
That is John Sy talking through his runners there, Paul. Are you going out on a limb and suggesting Kaying Rising is going to get beaten?
No, I think he can win. It's hard to see him get beaten. I think only Bad Luck is going to beat him. He's on top. I think his stablemate's going to run second. So David Hayes can Quinella it with Tomodachi Kokoro. Fast Network, he's a 2-time winner over this 1,200 metres. He's the up-and-comer. And you've got to take Helios Express a little bit on trust on that trial, but we know how good he can be. 1.863.
Yeah, I think they're going to find it very tough to beat Kaying Rising, even though he's got that £5 penalty here. Won this race from Barrier 10 last year, and he'll be too good for them again. Tomodachi Kokoro, he's in absolute career best form. Helios Express, the trial was terrible, but you've got to trust John Sy and Hugh Bowman for sure. And Fast Network, I don't think is out of this for James McDonald and Dennis Yip. 1, 8, 3 and 6.
That's the first of the 3 Group 2s previewed here on this Bank of China Race Day preview show. After the break, it's The Mile featuring the Rising Stars, My Wish and Luke Ferarris. Welcome back, the second of the Group 2s preview time here on this Bank of China preview show. Doubling is racing to win today, and The Mile is up next. And this is how they line up for it. Red line at the top of the book. Galaxy Patch has the blinkers going back on. Cheng Cheng Glory comes back in distance. My Wish plus £8 on his Group 2 win last time. Sunlight Power didn't have too much luck last start. Co-partner Prance has placed 2 from 3 this season. Encountered won the Sasa Ladies Purse last time. Comes back from the 1800. And Light Years Charm has his second run in group racing. There was My Wish jumping out of the gates, Paul, and you've got him in the trail.
Look, My Wish is going to get the perfect run in this race from Barrier 4. There's 2 horses that do like to lead in the race. Pray for Mur on the inside. Now, he's got some really good speed. And co-partner Prance set up some really fast sectionals last time as well. So there's going to be really a lot of speed in this particular race. But co-partner Prance, he can keep going. That's one of the things we have seen. And Pray for Mur is no wallflower either. Look, I think horses like Red Lion can get a good run just in behind, and also Happy Together, who ran a really good second at his last start. I think they're going to get their chances. The unlucky horses in the draw are Cheng Cheng Glory and Patcha Theta, who might just have to try and slot in.
The previous winners of the race, Tom, we do have last year's winner Voyage Bubble racing on the program, but he won't be running in this race. He's going to the 2000.
He is Beauty Eternal, of course, previous winner of this race, and then, of course, the great Golden 60, and he won this race there 3 times in a row. Of course, after 2 of those, he went on to win the Hong Kong Mile. So, yeah, an exciting list of horses there for sure.
Vincent Ho, Zac Purton, James McDonald. One man hoping to join his name to the list of previous winners is Luke Ferarris, and Nick spoke to him. Re my wish.
My Wish, though, he's 3 in front of Steps Ahead. My Wish is going to win again. It is My Wish in front. Devano screeching up the inside. My Wish for the Classic Mile. It is for Luke Ferarris as My Wish hit the gap and won the Celebration Cup.
Luke Ferarris, thanks for joining us. I always think this is a wonderful time of year, isn't it? All the dreams are still alive. HKIR, 4-year-old series, all of that sort of thing. But let's talk about you before we touch upon the future. The season started so well, 15 winners, second in the Premiership. Have you had to pinch yourself to sort of believe it's going that well?
I'm really happy that it is. It's obviously still really early in the season, so there's still a lot to get through before the end of it. But it's been a good start. I'll take it and look to build off it, building into the exciting part of the season now.
I wanted to ask you, you're the youngest rider here, licensed here. How quickly does one have to mature riding in Hong Kong? I mean, because you don't belie your age. Obviously, you ride with a very mature mind, I'm sure, and it's proven.
Thank you. I think a lot quicker than other places because the highs and lows are a lot more frequent than other places. You can't hide from the competitiveness of the place where you're on and off horses regularly. Whether you want to be or not, you're going to get taken off and you're going to get put on. So I think adapting to that sort of racing and being able to manage that and manage the emotions of the place too, for a place that's so high stress and pressure. Well, they call it the pressure cooker, and it's for good reason. So being able to manage that emotionally, mentally and physically is. You've got to adapt quick. It's more adapt or die. If you don't adapt, you're not gonna sort of be able to deal with it, and I think that'll then tell in your riding. So the quicker you can adapt, the better you'll do, I think.
You mentioned the high-profile horses, of course. There is one that I think forever will be associated with you during your time here in Hong Kong, of course, and that is My Wish. I actually spoke to Mark Noonan after he won his most recent race, and I said that I think he'll always be remembered for that famous day at the stalls, but that's well and truly behind him now. Top 4-year-old, he started this season so well. He must be a joy to be a part of, isn't he?
He is. I think more so from the fact that he was a problem horse when he got here. So the journey with him has been that much more special, where he's moulded from a sort of a rough diamond to now he's being cut into a proper diamond now. So that's been really rewarding to see him go through the grades and improve. And I said to Mark the other day, even when he was walking around the sand yard, his whole demeanour's changed. 12, 13 months ago, if you brought him here to do that before a barrier trial, you'd need 2 handlers and he'd be sweating and he'd be on his toes. And now he walks around just with the work rider on his back and doesn't turn a hair. So it's been great to see and great to be part of.
Looking ahead, of course, his next assignment will be on Jockey Club Trials Day, going to the mile. I mentioned at the top of this interview that obviously the dreams are very much still alive. I mean, your horse, you, Mark, you're in a great position, of course, 4AR. He's got another exam to sit, though. Excited?
I am. He's still got a relatively light weight in 1, 2, 3. I think the draw's going to be quite interesting. It's relatively the same field as it was in the past 2 races, so not much is changing there. I think it'll mainly come down to the draws, which will then shape the race. He's got the versatility of a very good horse, so it'll just be depending on what other runners do.
It's been such a story, Tom. Can you see any reason why it can't continue this week?
No, not at all, especially from barrier 4. He's one of those horses that just really puts himself into the race, and you can see here he's up outside to co-partner Prance, and that's what I wanted to ask you, Paul, is obviously they had trouble getting clear in the Celebration Cup, and it was nearly a disaster, and you don't want that to happen this time round again going into December. If they've got prey for Mur, would they be looking to maybe get off the rail a little quicker?
Yeah, I'd say as they turn for home, he'll be trying to get off that rail, and when they come round the bend, because both Co-Partner Prance and Pray for Mirror are really strong leaders. Now, you can see one thing about Co-Partner Prance, he doesn't give up. He's been such a good horse. He's a 6-year-old now and he's had a good season. But look, from barrier 4, when the barriers came out, I thought, he's only a little chap, old My Wish, but he's going to get that perfect run.
Yes, we saw that on the speed map in behind the leader. Paul Encountered's always been one of your horses, as he was in the Sasa Ladies Purse, leading on from the 1800 last time. Concerns coming back in trip, or maybe the quality of the field?
Well, more the quality of the field than the concerns. I mean, he's up in weight. He carried 115 here when he did win this race, so he's got to carry more weight. Now, this was 1,800 metres, and you can see him really, he only got there right on the post, didn't he? They went quite quick in this. So back to 1,600. I know he's won a couple of times over the 1,600 metres. Look, he's a likeable horse. He was right on the cusp for me. I didn't quite get him in the end, but it was a really strong win here, but this is going to be a lot tougher.
I take Happy Together out of this race. His performance here was really good. We've seen him be very competitive in the Group 1 mile going down through the years here of the last couple of seasons. So I think he can be competitive here again. The only thing with Encountered, Brett Crawford did sort of mention after the start, he puts a lot into his races, does Encountered. Sometimes he needs a little bit of time between runs. That worried me, and probably the quality of the opposition too.
Well, going now, Tom, to Light Years Charm, winning last time over the 1,400 metres. This is Beauty Crescent and Drombeg Banner, who went nuts coming down the side of the sectional they ran. It was set up for a swooper, and when you've got a quality horse like him, he was always going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, and he's a horse that the connections, David Eustace, have got a real high opinion of. Zach getting down to obviously the 123 pounds here. Not worried about gate 11, because more often than not he misses the start. And when he did have a run in Group 3 company earlier on in the season, Paul, he was a little luckless that day too.
Yeah, it was really unlucky. Look, he's only had 11 career starts here in Hong Kong. He has won 5 of them. He is definitely on the up as well. He'll be 3rd up this season. Again, he's going to have to give a few of these horses a start. So he'll go in, but just on a minor line.
Right, time to get your selections. Paul, does My Wish just get too good a run?
I think he does. Look, when the barrier draws came out, and sort of made my mind up for sure to put him on top, My Wish. Agree with what Tom was saying, Happy Together. Of the front runners, the Co-Partner Prance will be there, and he set up some really fast sectionals, and then last Light Years Charm in there on that minor line. 7, 5, 9 and 13.
Yeah, My Wish, absolutely the horse to beat here in the Jockey Club mile with that good draw. Puts himself up onto the speed. He's strengthened up, I think, a little bit as well. So My Wish to be Happy Together. Light Years Charm certainly will give them a start with his gate speed. And I think the jury's really out on Galaxy Patch. He hasn't gone forward in the direction that most thought he would have gone. He wasn't beaten too far last time out. Again, he's another one that gives them a start. But I just wonder if he's regressed a little bit, Galaxy Patch. 7, 5, 13 and 2.
2 races down. Normally we're done, but not today. There's one very important race to go. Romantic Warrior v Voyage Bubble, Purton v McDonald. The preview for that race is right after this. What a race the third of the Group 2s is going to be. Romantic Warrior returns, and standing his way for another clash is Voyage Bubble. And here it is, the Bank of China, Hong Kong, Jockey Club Cup, and the field looks this way. Romantic Warrior, his first start since April. He's had 3 trials. Voyage Bubble steps up to the 2,000 metres after a tough first up. Run straight Aaron's back with David Hayes, visor off, blinkers on. Ensued wears pacifiers for the first time. And Kaying Generation placed in the Derby over 2,000 metres, and he's first up. He's had 6 trials to prepare for this. There's only 2 we need to focus on the speed map. Paul, where are they, the Warrior and the Bubble?
Right in behind the pace, I think. I think both horses are going to get every opportunity with the Romantic Warrior and Voyage Bubble there. Kaying Generation's a little query, but he does go forward over this distance. We know Sword Point definitely does like to lead, so they should set a reasonably good pace to give the horses a chance, which will give a horse like Bundle Award at the back every opportunity in the small field.
Tom, looking at the previous winners of the race, he's looking to make it 2 in a row, Romantic Warrior.
Yes, he certainly is. Of course, won it last year. A Straight Aaron, of course, in 2023. Romantic Warrior again in 2022. A shock result when Reliable Team was able to turn up and win in 2021. And of course, another Derby winner down there, Furore, winning this back in 2020 for Cruz and Morera.
We go straight to Nick with the trainer of the great horse Romantic Warrior. It's Denny Shum.
It is good, he's happy and he's healthy. He has 3 trials and 1 turf gallop on the Sha Tin race course. All the reports from the jockey are positive.
Danny, we haven't seen him since Dubai. Obviously, he's had 1 or 2 little niggly injury issues. He's over everything now. He's happy and well and raring to go for the weekend.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you, Dr. Lawrence Chan. When he come back, actually in Dubai, I always text him, not 100%, but not bad, of course, but not as usual. So I said something hidden problem maybe. So when he finished Dubai, come back to the quarantine, me and Dr. Lawrence Chan come and check. It's sound, it's shortened sound, but we still want to do the CT scan and find that he got an incomplete fracture on this joint, on this left foot joint. So we just have a good discuss and conservation. So we decided to do the screw surgery on it. It only takes 2 months off. If you don't take the screw, he'll be 2 months off, he will be okay, Sam. So, but just in case, take a screw, better. Okay, so I take his advice. Yeah.
Beyond the weekend, of course, he comes through the trial okay. He's going for a 4th Hong Kong Cup. I mean, that really is the stuff of dreams. There's just so much to look forward to with him still, and he's still going strong at his age, isn't he? I mean, he seems to be getting better with age, Danny, doesn't he?
I don't think he's getting better, but I do think he still keep very, very competitive. Yes.
He's done such a great job with the horse, Paul. We're going to go back to a replay now where he was beaten, but far from disgraced in the Dubai turf at Maiden. Soul Rush manages to beat him. He's followed him everywhere and gets him right at the post.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like a run full of merit here once again. I mean, racing fans in Hong Kong haven't seen him since international meeting. He's been on his overseas adventures and he's had these runs. And as you can see, as he came down the straight, he just keeps fighting. But Soul Rush, the Japanese, managed to get him right on the post. But look, his trial's been good. He looks like he's come back in good form there, Tom.
And Soul Rush, potentially a horse we see here again in December, albeit not clashing with Romantic Warrior. Had a great campaign over there. Obviously, he's had that screw inserted into the fetlock, but his work and his trials have been really strong. I think he's right on song.
A horse that will be hoping to beat him is Voyage Bubble. Zac Purton is the man riding him on Sunday.
I rode him early on in his career as well. I think I won his first race on him, so I go a fair way back. And you know, he was a nice horse then, but he's really developed into a lovely horse now. He's big and strong, and he looks after himself very well. He's got a very good brain. He relaxes and just waits for the signal. Really, he wants to do whatever you want to do on him. So he's versatile, and he showed last season. I had my doubts as to whether he's a 1.5 mile horse, but that might have been his career best performance. So maybe we've been running at the wrong trip most of his career. But he's done a very good job, and it's good to get back on him.
You've trialled him recently. He ran 3rd. I mean, it was probably a trial in 2 halves. The first 2 had their own sort of private battle, but judging your horse on what he did, he looked good.
Well, he's always going to get run off his legs in a 1,200 metre trial on the dirt, but for him it's just a matter of letting him roll around, you know, get the work into him and move on to race day, and I thought he did a good job.
What about a crack at Romantic Warrior? Then we know obviously how good he is, but I mean, a Voyage Bubble in top form on his day surely gives him a race, doesn't he?
Well, he's given him a race before in the Gold Cup when I rode him. You know, I felt like we probably had Romantic Warrior that day at one stage, but he certainly got the better of me late, and I don't think Voyage Bubble was quite at his best that day. He had a little bit of a hiccup going into the race, so maybe that was a telling factor in the final stages of the race. But, you know, at his best, you know, he's certainly going to give him another run for his money.
That is Zac on Voyage Bubble. Tom, moving on to a replay now, the Sha Tin Trophy Beauty Joy. Straight Aaron is back with David Hayes. He won this race, of course, 2 years ago.
Yeah, he certainly did. And, of course, let's not forget when he was in the Cup, the Hong Kong Cup in 2023. He was a really unlucky fourth that day, of course, when it was won by Romantic Warrior. He's gone full circle, this horse, hasn't he? He's had a few changes of trainer. He's now back with David Hayes. I think he's been running well. I think he's still some sort of a player here, Paul. He should get a nice enough run. Interesting, they chuck the blinkers at him too. Yeah,
look, as you say, he's back with David Hayes. So, look, I think he's got his chance. Voyage Bubble, complete forgive. Everything went wrong for him in this race. And, look, his 2,000 metre record's good, Voyage Bubble. He's had 3 starts for 2 wins in a second. So, no worries about the distance with him, that's for sure.
All right, pressure time. Who wins?
Well, I think Romantic Warrior, his trials have been really, really good. I think he's bounced back. He can win it from Voyage Bubble. That's going to be a great tussle. Straight Aaron and Bundle Award running on late. 1, 2, 4, 6.
Yeah, going with the Romantic Warrior here. He's definitely the one to beat, I feel. Was a horror show for Voyage Bubble first up. Straight Aaron to play, and Bundle Award should be running on at the end. 1, 2, 4 and 6.
As easy as that. We're time to head to the best, the long shot and the play pool.
Going to go with a horse called Stunning Peach in the distance race, the 2,000 metre race. Comes up in race number 4. Ran on for 3rd at his last start. He looks ready to win. And the value, Lucky My Way, he's got a bad first up record. He's now 2nd up, and I think he can bounce back. So he's the value play in the last. We'll do the play in race number 5 of Lucy in the Sky, Sunny the Best, Invincible Ibis, and a QQP.
Best bet comes up in the last. Brilliant Express. He's got blinkers on. He's got barrier 1. Even though he's got top weight, I think he'll be tough to beat. Brilliant Express in the last. The value Noisy Boy over 2,000 metres. He's a 2,000 metre winner. Dinnership Alice Wong. So he's race 4, number 3. And at the play, we'll go the forecast. The big 2 there. Romantic Warrior, Voyage Bubble.
The best bet, go early. Made for Life first starter. Mark Newnham can get a first starter up and running. He's trialled quite well. He's had 3 of them. Brenton Avdulla on board. Going to stick with Neza as the value bet. He's down on the class drop. Disappointed last time at Happy Valley. Comes back in class and has trialled okay since in the play early. All's well, Jubilant Start. Made for Life 4, 6, 11 in a QQP. Here is the diary for Sunday. What is upcoming? It's an earlier start, Tom, but the 3 big races all in a row.
Yep, races 6, 7 and 8. The sprint, the mile, the cup. We've got the mile championship coming out of Japan. So some interest there, Paul, with the likes of Docklands and Soul Rush.
Yeah, both coming here in December. So it looks a really exciting race, that one.
It's going to be a great day Sunday.
Yeah, it will be fantastic.
Can't get excited about that. What can you get excited about?
Exactly right. It's called Trial Day, but it's far from a trial. It's going to be some super racing right here at Sha Tin on Sunday. Thanks to the boys. Thanks for you as well. Trackside Live from 12:15, the first at 12:45.